What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got some different content for you. I'm going to be working on the 07 Honda Civic Si sedan, the FA5. Needs some love. What I got here are some TSX calipers and the caliper brackets. So they look pretty fresh, but that's because I just cleaned them up and painted them. I didn't want to put them looking all grungy. I picked these up from the junkyard for a good deal. So I already made a little bit of inroads on this. I mean, you take off your wheel and then you expose, of course, the rotor and the brake caliper. So I'm going to be taking all this stuff off. I got some goodies I'm going to go through and show you guys. I already took off the retention screws using my handy impact screwdriver, as I showed you guys before in a previous video when I was adjusting the door on the EM1. So I works just the same. Take off those stubborn caliper retention screws. So here's what we got as far as brakes. Let's see, these are the shims. I cleaned these up too. They were looking kind of rough, so I just put some rust reformer on them. That way they don't look so bad. Anyway, oops, there's another one. Stoptech stainless steel brake lines. So that should be pretty sweet on there. And then Brembos. Got some Brembo blanks just for the front. I'm not changing the discs in the rear just yet. If I do, I'll just get some cheaper ones, I guess, or whatever I can find, even the AutoZone specials. And then they came, this was like a whole kit, and then it came with these pads. I think they're ceramic pads. So let me see, I did not even open this yet. So anyway, I'll crack these guys open in a bit, but I need to start taking stuff off first. I'm looking forward. This should give me a lot better brake feel, better stopping. This setup, I did not get the TLS brake master cylinder. I'm going to try and see how this feels with the stock master cylinder, because it is tucked way in there, guys. Like here's the reservoir, but the brake master cylinder itself is way back there. I don't know if you can see it. It's way back here. So anyway, I didn't want to mess with this. I kind of want to get this job turned around pretty quick. So here's the part numbers for all the parts we're using today. That's a stainless steel brake line kit from Stoptech. This is the Brembo brake pads, and then lastly the Brembo blanks that I'm using, so that way you guys can do this one on your own. Rotors look really good. Those pads aren't really aggressive. They're like the ceramic ones that come OEM stock. So I'm going to go ahead and break these loose, take this off, and then get all the new stuff put on there and be good to go. The other thing you have to keep in mind when doing this is keeping the fluid level so it doesn't, at least topped off enough so it doesn't completely run out of brake fluid while you're cracking open the line. So you can see it's way below the max. It's at the very bottom. I just took this apart and cleaned it out because there was some sludgy stuff in there. So I'm gonna refill it with the funnel. So I'm gonna be using some good old AutoZone .4. Might as well get a little bit better, higher boiling point, better performance with these brakes. So hopefully this is enough, because I'm probably going to be using a lot when I clean the brakes. So we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead. So I had a hard time taking this off, beating with the hammer. So you see that there's these countersunk holes for the retention screws. So there's these other ones that are threaded, and that's exactly, I can't see it, but there's one there, two of those. And that's exactly, these are for that purpose. You stick a bolt in there like this, and then gets to a certain point, just push, pull this off. So that's an easy tip if your rotor's stuck and you can't tap it off with a dead blow hammer. You just use a screw into that little threaded portion of the rotor. Okay, let's see. We will have to bend this back. I just forgot about that. So we'll have to bend this back a little bit. Let's see if it fits. Keep putting it in the wrong way. Looks like it's pretty close. I just gotta bend this one a little bit more. Top. Okay, I think we're good. Everything looks like it's gonna line it off all the way to the max. And I put the cap back on because this is hydrophilic. This stuff absorbs moisture into the atmosphere and then it makes it feel crappy. That's why over time you have to replace it. So anyway, filled it up and I'm gonna keep filling it up as I bleed the brakes and drain everything out. All right, so here we have the passenger side all done. Check for no leaks, everything's tight. That wetness right there is just when I crack the line. I'll shoot it with some brake cleaner. I just don't like the way brake cleaner smells. Gives me a headache, so I don't use it too much. But anyway, looks really good. Made a little bit of mess on the ground, but that's almost unavoidable. So my son came out and he helped me bleed the brakes. I used my vacuum pump to prime them. I gravity bled it first, so I cracked this bleeder open, and then I let it. I waited until some fluid started coming out, then I closed it. Then I used my vacuum pump. I pumped it and got some more fluid in there just to prime the caliper. And then after that, I had my son come out. And when we bled it the traditional way, the two-person method, he pumped it, and the pedal feels pretty good. Steel lines really helped a lot. The brake pedal doesn't feel too mushy at all, so it feels really good. Actually, I'm looking forward to bedding the brakes right now, and then seeing how that's what it looks like behind the wheel. Looks really good, fills it in really well. It's a lot bigger setup. Clears it no problem. So I kind of wish I had painted black, maybe like a gloss black, but it fits well. It looks really good, so no regrets. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other wheel on.